there are other subsets, shall we say, or subcultures within American culture that in some ways are supportive, actually, of this whole Republican notion that, you're on your own, and et cetera. And among them is the Christian Patriarchy movement and the Quiverfull movement. And Vyckie Garrison is a former Christian Patriarchy Quiverfull mother with 7 children. She ran a newsletter for the movement, left it about 3 years ago. She runs the Take Heart Project, a nonprofit for other escapees. That website is takeheartproject.org, and also the nolongerquivering.com website, which I'm looking at right now. It tells all about this. Vyckie, welcome to the program.
Hi, Tom.
Hi. I'm pronouncing your name right?
Yes, it's Vyckie.
Okay. And tell us, what is Christian Patriarchy and what is Quiverfull?
Quiverfull, I would say, is evangelical biblical family values on steroids. The basic premise goes from Psalm 127, which says, "Behold, children are a blessing from the Lord." It goes on to say that, like arrows in the hands of a mighty man, so are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who has his quiver full of them. And so that's where they get the quiver full. The basic idea is to be open to accepting as many arrows or blessings as the Lord wants to send your way. And so basically it's no birth control.
Right. And in fact, I think this has historically been used by the Catholic religion and by the Mormon religion to justify very, very large families.
Yes, and it's really there's so much of this push with the pro-life movement within evangelical Christianity, and this is just kind of the next step to say, well, not only do we not want to have what's been called the abortion mentality of aborting children, but we want to welcome, we want to accept, and even proactively procreate as many children. And basically the premise is that you're raising up warriors for God's army.
And just as, by the way, this week, I believe it is, the planet hit its 7 billionth person, which is pretty amazing when you think that when this nation was founded, there were only 250 million people on the planet.
I guess that makes me the mother of 1/1,000,000th of the population.
How did you escape from this Christian patriarchy? Well, we haven't established what Christian patriarchy is. What's that?
Okay, the patriarchy part comes in, the mainstream evangelicals believe that the husband is to be the head of the home, that he is the one to make the final decisions, he has the authority, and that the wife is to be submissive. But the Christian patriarchy movement takes it a step farther and says that the husband is basically spiritually in authority over the wife, that God uses a hierarchy of authority, and that in order to have spiritual protection for the wife and for the children, they need to be in submission to that authority, which is the husband.
Does it also suggest, as some of the stories in the Bible do, that if the husband dies, the son takes over as the one who's in charge of the mother?
There is that teaching too.
Yeah, and you grew up in this?
No,
Okay.
I actually didn't grow up in a Christian home. I became a Christian when I was 17, kind of as a way of escaping the chaos of my own life. But I, got into the church and I started hearing about biblical family values and pro-life, pro-marriage, marriages between one man and one woman for life, and then it just progressed. It was actually when I got into homeschooling. I started homeschooling just kind of on a fluke because my daughter was way ahead. She was already reading, and she wasn't old enough for kindergarten, so I decided to homeschool her for a year and see how that went. And that's where I encountered books such as The Way Home by Mary Pride. The subtitle is Beyond Feminism and Back to Reality. Be Fruitful and Multiply by Nancy Campbell. These kind of books which were teaching about Quiverfull and patriarchy.
And so homeschooling is the medium by which this kind of thought virus is most frequently spread around the country as opposed to denominations?
I call it fertile ground, the
Yeah.
homeschooling movement, because that's where you get the, when you go to a homeschooling curriculum fair, you're going to find books that are, math books or science, creation science, of course, and revisionist history. And there are parents who are, looking at those tables and getting the curriculum for their kids. But the booths that are filling up and where people are taking their money out are the ones that are selling a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. What they're selling is this protection for your family.
Right. And what is the and how did you I don't know if escape is the right word, or was there an element of escape?
For me, it was kind of a matter of desperation. I burned out. I mean, you have 7 kids, and I was not cut out for childbearing. After our third, we decided I was done. I could not handle it anymore, and my husband had a vasectomy. And it wasn't until we encountered these teachings that then we got this conviction that we had usurped God's place, and we decided that we needed to repent of that and restore, give our fertility back into the Lord's hands. And so he went and had a reversal. And then we had 4 more, and every time it was just hell on my body. And so, after a while, I just lost my health, and I wasn't able to keep up with the homeschooling and the home birthing and, the whole thing. It was an impossible, unsustainable lifestyle. And
so that awakened, and now you help people who want to escape from these movements with NoLongerQuivering.com and TakeHeartProject.org?
Yes.
Okay. And are you finding, we have just a minute left here, Vyckie, are you finding a lot of people who have been sucked in innocently into the Quiverfull and the Christian Patriarchy movement who are looking to escape?
I think the majority of them actually dig in deeper and try harder. But there are some who come and, they just get so desperate that finally they have to start questioning whether what they are basing their life on is really reality, or if it's just this big fantasy that can't actually
And are these movements associated with political parties at all? Is there a connection, for example, between them and the Conservatives and the Republican Party that I'm hearing about?
Yes. Well, dominionism is at the core of Psalm 127 when it says, "Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them." It goes on and says, "They will not be ashamed, but will speak with the enemies in the gates." It's talking about dominionism.
So, and that means getting involved in politics.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these can be very highly political movements as well. Remarkable. Vyckie Garrison. The website's NoLongerQuivering.com. TakeHeartProject.org. Thank you, Vyckie.
Thank you.